things that were explicit, there are many things that were torturous. We have read a book that is torturous. So we will be able to work with the author. Then they came out with this one. This was the second one. It also had issues. Then finally we came out with this one. This is what you have. This is the school edition of this book, 285. So I have seen this book grow, and I understand a little bit of how it has grown and many things that needs to be done about it. Fathers and pensions. What is it that is important for us to look at? For once, I say I am happy that we do not have genitals in our books. Hello? We have been in genitals for a very long time in many books that we have read. We have been inside there for a long time. For once now, we need to transition. By the way, I'm going to take this book to the end and you ask, what is it that I can examine? What is it I can ask my students? For once, we have a book that speaks to our hearts and not our ears. I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about, but you will get me as I go. This is it. It's a satirical text. I have not said, go and tell people this is a satire. So we begin, what is satire? And we go on dictionary and we want the definition of satire and we begin to talk about it. By the way, every other thing you laugh at. I have read that book many times. I was reading it yesterday and I thought every other thing that I look at, you laugh at. You laugh at. I will do this so that we don't struggle. I will give these notes to the organizers. Then if there are numbers, they can send it to me. That way, I will be able to know whom I have given my notes. I will be able to give them after this, then they can send to you. Look at this thing. The plot is zigzag. Let me ask you, maybe
that's why we got into music. That's why we are here.
So then what I'm talking about, this text in terms of the plot. And I was told you were trying to set the film. If you are setting this book for paper to Mr. Kimani, we were talking about paper in a few minutes. If you are setting this question for paper, for example, you get to page 10. If you get to page 10 of that, if you have the book open, if you get to page 10, then you ask the students, what happens immediately after these exams? It is not on page 11. It is not in page 11. The answer is not in page 11. Because page 11 is now, page 10 is not related to it. Page 10 is about how the hosts are preparing the host. So you need to go ahead to go to, I think, go to page 46. Care must be taken when you are teaching this book for people two, and you are teaching it for people three. Take very good care. And I have decided for this care to be taken, I have a new page that I love, pocketizing the text. Pocketizing. That is my new love. I have moved from episodes. I am now on pocketizing the text. How do we make the text be in the pocket? How do we make it our own? I will be talking about it in a few hours. Look at the zigzag plot. Why the zigzag plot? It is the zigzag plot. It is conscious effort to bring out the confusion that bedevils Africa and the people and the leaders. You know, if it is not the leaders, it is the intellectuals. If it is not the people, it is the countries, individual and collective. There is a lot about, look at this story. For example, focusing on Dr. Abiola. He is educated, by the way. He is educated. If he was attending that seminar on democratic rule in Africa, that seminar in Boston, his speech is different from what he is. His book, Failure of States and What He Believes are at par. Yet he's the one guiding the heirs to make a choice. Does he have any other choice to make? He seems to have two choices, isn't it? He is in mother One is weak, one is strong. And things get odd. There is a lot of disorder. Africa is coming to choose a growth strategy between Papa and Way Omega. What do they choose? Must we put our life in the toss of a coin? The life must be put into a toss of a coin. And when the chair is even tossing and closing his eyes, because they have the trick that they win when they win, and they still win when they lose. I mean, able to explain the trick. Because the things that God intensifies the satire in this thing, so that we understand. I have looked at this book again. I thought this book would down page 1 up to page 3. Then we move to page 150 and we go to the end. Because all these things in between page 4, we can move from up to page 10. Then we can start from page 10, go to page 150. In between page 10 to 150 is a host of flashbacks that to me could be done away with, but still make sense in the context of this story. The zigzags to ponder. What are the zigzags that we need to think about? Why is Africa interested in Africa? An agency for growth and development in Africa. Who is the proponent? The man in charge of special projects, looking for special people to look at the people he's speaking. I want to invite you to take that stage, if you have it. See, the day is meeting our own Professor Kimani. Professor Kimani. Why is he struggling to be bitonal and monotonal at the same time? To be British, to be American, and to be South Africa. Why is he struggling to impress? What is this story of Mark Thatcher? How does he bring this story? And actually, Kimani asked, how does that concern you? I don't think that anything. I know people didn't have books, people didn't carry books, but it's okay. If you are in page 39, I want us to read paragraph 1, and somebody can read paragraph 1. Thaddeus is knocking on Professor Kimani's door. He's knocking on the just the first paragraph there, at the back of that, you take that stage. The first paragraph. Everybody wants to read. Thank you. Please come and read loud. Yes, she's near me. Read loud. Just that thing. I want us to see something there. When Thaddeus is the first time we do this.
Professor Kimani had a log. Weary from lack of sleep, a recurring problem now. He grumbled all the way to the door. Why didn't people just stay in their own homes? A white man, 50 plus years old, was standing up, looking from side to side as if an enemy might have been following.
Looking from side to side as if an enemy might have been following. Why is he so restless? Why is he looking like this? Don't understand it. When we look like this, when we want to do clandestine things, isn't it? Go to page 44 of the same page. Kimani is about to sign for Africa. Kimani is about to sign, I think the second last paragraph. This paragraph here. Somebody can read it for please read it now here. There is something in that.
From your history again, Professor Kimani, from your history again, said the stranger. Then he smiled and apparently also winked. He had reached the end of his presentation now.
Smiled and also winked. He is winking at who? Kimani. Why wink? Why wink? I think I have looked two things that happen in this story. The way Thad Longways recruits Professor Kimani is similar to the way he recruits Dr. Abiola. In all ways, you can read from page 72 up to 74. You will find similarities with what happens between page 40 to 47, and you will find it interesting as it goes. So when he introduces this man called Mark Thatcher, and he says Mark Thatcher was responsible for Equatorial Guinea coup. Actually, what is this thing? Is it good to be in a coup? By the way, my opinion, this is my humble opinion, that this is another big coup that is organizing for Africa. A bigger coup than it is. So look at it. What is the shape? What we talk about? How does this summit end? Must a leaders meeting end as it does? That they are scampering for safety, they are promising what to be done, that people are producing guns and so on. What is this thing? is the gun seeking revenge for their selfish ways. That gun, I have called them the gun, the text calls them the gun, and I think they are a gun. Please talk to me. Because look at these four people, they have checked in Seamount. They have checked in Seamount. They don't know each other. They are not supposed to call. They are told to use a mobile phone in the briefcase, that the mobile phone is safe. It is not safe. Because Nick Sentinel is able to capture all their conversations. Then this gun is waiting to go and attack Pinnacle. But then we are told they host as security 1,000 commandos. They have intelligence given to the police. That this host can detect anything, including an angel that Belushi has, but they cannot detect this gun. Hello? Are you seeing satire now? We are talking about satire. And you are able to, so that you interact with this book in a better way. What to look for as you need. What to look for as you need. But I want to encourage you. Read this text as many times as you can. Me, I don't know how many times I've read it. I can tell you, I don't know. But a week will not pass. There will be no week without me reading. Why was it picked for study? If you say why it was picked for study, we will be talking about the testimonies. What are the morals? Why does it relate to the 17, 18-year-olds? Of course, what are the main episodes? Which ones are favorable? How does this story end? That is an important thing. How does that story end? And did you notice that when the story ends, Abiola and Fiona are holding hands, and the Nick Sentinel is parodying the commandos? There are two stories going on: the summit and the summit. Hello? There is a summit going on, and there is a summit between Fiona and Afolabi. And that summit is ending in close hands by the two summits going on at the same time. Suggested approaches. These are suggested approaches to choosing this, navigating back and forth this particular avenue. You can use locations to be able to approach this way, so that your students tell you what happens at Seamount. What is it that is in Seamount? And you can talk about the gun checking in, then the phone calls. Then ask them how many phone calls. If you're teaching for people, that will help you. How many phone calls and what are they? Who is calling and for what reason? Look at the encounter with Fiona's encounter with the librarian in Mola. It's called Leo. It's called Leo. That story. What does it tell you about important summits like this one? There are people who go there for adventure and sex. Hello? Hello? So that when we call joy, please come and run in my room for work. What are they saying? What are they saying? And just adapting anybody you find on the road. And I mean, Afolabi is to tell you a lot of stories go in there. By the way, there's a big story there. Then tax briefs, giving a brief. It happens in that hotel. I think it's room number 1056. And you can be able to then the accommodation of the heads. Look at that accommodation. It's a big headache. Why is it? Because African presidents don't go single. They come with a whole plane carrying their delegation. It is difficult to get rooms, isn't it? But they decide for. Look at the opening ceremony. Opening ceremony. I love that speech, page 150. Somebody can read for me. If I am using it to teach creative writing, especially if I want my students to learn how to move a story from one point first to the next. One point first to the next. Look at that page. Page 150, paragraph 1. Page 150, paragraph 1. Anybody inspired to read? Yes.
The national anthem struck. For the Gambia, our homeland. Everyone rose. It played. All remained on their feet. It ended. Everybody sat. The Gambia's president stood up. The whole hushed. An imposing figure even while sitting. On his feet, the president seemed a gigantic stature that had got up to go for a stroll. He left his seat at the dais and started walking. When he reached the speaker's microphone, he stopped. Then he turned to face his audience. Seated before him were 49 fellow heads.
Good reading. Good reading. I am saying that sometimes you've got to do down reading. That's probably going to show something there. Look at that story with Ruby. Those, some, stopped, sat. The story is there. You can move on. It's a beautiful way of looking at it. And you can see, I love this story also for how it uses repetition for effect. Sometimes repetition can be used for effect in a story. If you read page 144, page 144, page 144, I think there's some story about Karanja. I like the way they read the word use. The word use. You can read. You can read. Page 144. Yes, Pastor, please read. Please. I want you to listen to Pastor read with feelings. She's reading with feelings. But please put feelings. Yeah.
As Professor Kimani brushed his teeth, ready for bed, the mirror before him showed he was loose everywhere. His belly hung over his belt like a half-empty sack. Loose. He tried to suck it in. It stayed put. His face had wrinkles like a dry prune. Loose. Two folds of skin ran on the left, right sides of his nose down to the left, right corners of his mouth. Loose. He tried to smile them away. They refused to leave. The flesh under his chin hung and shook. Loose. Was getting old a process of wholesale loosening? His mobile phone interrupted this analysis.
Reading for feelings, by the way, reading for feelings. Read with feelings. Look at the way that he used. And the author is talking about the process of the engine. Time is running out of this man. He hasn't achieved anything. He made the biggest mistake of buying a campus beauty queen and he's broke. He lost. Things are not happening and things is loose now. And I like the way the author uses those for. Another way we can look at this is by other settings. Fiona's apartments, Oslo, beautiful place, on the plane. By the way, did you know that separation between Pamela and Alabi marks the separation for life? The separation at the plane and the separation of life. By the way, what does that story tell you about children in marriage? What is Pamela saying? Africa has many children. Read page 7. There's no need to have your own. They can adopt. These are the one things they need to have to. By the way, this child would have been like the one feeding doves there. And look at it that way. But what is this thing about? Okay, Afolabi's house, the encounter with him and Nipo. By the way, Nipo is the guy. The villagers approach you on that. If you think you are not going to a doctor, that is all. We want children. You know, Pamela does not understand because there is divorce. Fiona, why is Fiona seconded to the VOA? And by the way, they are saying, we will use you when it is most favorable. Because Americans, there are places they can't access. They will use Fiona to access. And you see the way they are using her to trace the guy in this story. There is something sinister about them. Of course, there is Chamiluka to other restaurants for you can use characters to access the story. The idea here, what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that your candidate or your students are accessing the story. Provide areas of access. They can access from setting, they can access from characters, so long as they access and have the story. Because the bottom line, and I tell those that I speak to, and I tell those students that I teach, that there will be no question that does not ask you to use the text to illustrate. Those rumors, those stories you know from home, not the sounds of ground. Use the story, fathers of nations. Use the story, the Samaritan. So we better anchor ourselves with that Samaritan. Then the Chineke Chama. By the way, that Chineke Chama story is the way. CIA church inside God. By the way, that is any church. That is any church. It is a church inside Africa. It is any church. It is not CIA is churches. And churches in Africa are like that. And Algeria is one of them. Of course, look at say very enthusiastic young man supporting making a weaponry. And now the feast of Allah is dismantled and everything. Look at this man, by the way, ladies. Sometimes say no to mean no, and not no to mean yes. Because grammar has this trouble of saying no, not to look like she's key. And look at the ghost. The next day she's loud because she has removed the veil. And she says, the letter open. Then the Hammurabi law. But look at the satire in Hammurabi law of an eye for an eye. Is it just? Is it just? By the way, you know, debating the classroom for students to, like my school has both boys and girls. We put both girls this way for Rama and boys this way for Sai. The debate is nice. Whether it was why did he eat? Oh, why did he slap? Oh, then the debate becomes nice and you go on. And the teacher is happy because this one has been taught. Okay, Comrade Melusi is another aspect. Right from page 1 when we are checking in, look at the way it's presented. Look at the way look at the way they are presented when they are checking in. And they are checking in the east for Kenya, in the south for Melusi, in the west for Chiamaka, and in the north for Tanzania. They are saying that was by accident, but I don't think so. But look, they are saying it was by accident. But they don't know each other. By the way, they don't meet until page 146. That's very good. They don't meet in that story. Then they meet, they even find out. So this is the guy. And they are getting really interested in what they are doing. Look at our Karanja Kimani, from grace to grass. He has come from Oxford with ideas. Universities must be relevant to society. He gets it as the word. No, universities must be agents of what? Change. Then people tell him, see, this one, we like you to travel. Because then he gets himself that now is written and beautiful in the name of Asiya or money. If you thought he could use that money, or money is not. Hello, they love it more. You marry a college, a campus beautifully, then you become, by the way she says on page 24, you can't read sometime, but I see him going somewhere. But now I see him going nowhere. So that on the night when he's walking out, I like the way the author plays the sound made by the bed and the protestation by the man. When she gets up, the bed is creaking. When she begins to say these things, the bed is roaring. When she walks out, the bed is protesting. Look at the way, if you're teaching for people too, then personification comes, isn't it? Metaphor comes, and you are able to see these things as they move, and teaching becomes an interesting thing, even as you enjoy. Okay, Thaddeus Longway, another person that I find funny. Scheming is strategic. Look, he's at the right place at the right time. He's at the right. But by the way, he's promising these people a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of money. There are people who are looking for money. Abiola now wants to get it from both. Get substance and this one. And look at what that has done to him at the end. Fiona Mackenzie, when you are going to interview something, you say, must you introduce yourself with where you are born? I don't know, the reporters introduce themselves like that. My name is Fiona Mackenzie. I was born here in Gambia. I was born by Frederick, and now I am here. I live in Scotland. You talk like that. Then the man says, cute as a button, sharp as what? Are you seeing something? So that in page 9, when Fiona is asking him all the tough questions, he says, I had thought she was a lamb vulnerable. Now, a lioness, dangerous. Look at him teaching for paper 2, how he measured the cows, how the metaphor is rising, and he was able to see that. Then he tells them that don't just read the cover of my book, go and read. And you see the attitude of the intellectuals against those they think I'm not going to school properly. Go and read my book, not the cover. And look at this man called Nick Sentiment. I find him the funniest. He's about 25 years of age and seems to do more than everything else. Using the gadget that he has launched in other places. And he's telling the story in a man, so that at the end in page 184, when he is walking out parodying the commandments, what is the success? But I am a use it actually, the preparation for the summit meeting, the exchanges, the aborted end of the summit. Then you see how it will go quickly. Then you are able to see how life goes. So easy to go. Okay, this is what the story is about. I'm not talking about it. I want to talk about approaches to teaching this one. The other approaches that you can use the four stories. The four stories. And those four stories, you can approach it that way. Teach the four stories. In terms of the story of the gun, you can do it today. Then the background of the gun, the recruitment, then the VOA involvement here, one story. Then the head summit. Then you are done. If you're doing the four parts of that story, then you'll be able to move with this story to the end. I'm trying to look at those two development strategies for purposes of us seeing the satellite ideas. One, that it hopes to change African politics. There are no military coups, no rigged elections. Hello? No more politics. I don't know how it's going to happen. Ask me how it's going to happen. When Simba Ibarosa has been voted out 5 times, but has refused to leave the office. When Bibi Bangura, his grandfather, has been there ever since independence. Tell me how they are going to adopt this measure. Tell me if this man called Basuasi Mesika, a man who can detect the coup before it happens, that takes you in this country, is not legally elected. Then look at this man, the president of Gambia, the host. He came to power on 22nd July 1994, and that was not enough. He elected an ark to remember his illegitimacy in power. These are the people we have to entrust that there will be no elections, and that is why they are suspicious. Even when it is not mentioned about Kenya, Simba Ibarosa says there is something in this document that it neglects to mention. Hello? It neglects to mention that our tenures are going to be limited to 2 terms. That is something I can't get. Look at this other one for this one. Mobilizing, civic discontent, domain change. Let me tell you, personally, this is my opinion. I have some misgivings about the way our government lately. I have misgivings about it. I am very quiet. But if somebody can mobilize this thing into a will for change, I can force change. Tell me if that is not inside me. That is what Alpha is all about. I have some miscontent personally about how my tax and my money and my investment and I'm very alive. Let me give you a bad example. It's a bad one. In Kisumu, I live there. I have no one there. And I remember games we used to play. Now they're working. I have looked at the people living there, no thing. And on the other, all this population. Sometimes I feel so annoyed that we need to do something to regulate our schooling. But I have nobody to mobilize. To mobilize me to a will forward change. I have looked at this thing, and I have looked at this other one. Which one do you think would be better objective? Which one? Tell me which one. In my opinion, none. Because this man is saying we need to mobilize. He's calling it the law of will. The law of will. What is this thing about mobilizing? How is it the misgivings people have against their government situation that will bring about change? I have misgivings about it. If someone says that, I will be happy. We are waiting to force some people to change. This is the thing. I am trying to do this so that you understand that one is, if this, okay, let me now look at this thing, the two of them. Who are the president have in this thing? Of course, Mr. Oloo is being on them. They don't want to talk about it. Let me talk about it. But who will implement? Who are the African leaders who will implement? The Gambian president came there by a coup. It's a beneficiary of the people who actually saw that calling the president of Gambia my brother.
No, this is not
Who
the
watched it out here? My son.
recording.
His grandson, actually his grandson, the most important. People who also look at these people in school. That morning he woke up and he tried to bed and some bad word.
I received the
Something changed. And that made him very bitter. Why is he bitter? That he's going to die and leave power. That is what makes him bitter. Look at the president we're talking about. Look at Simba Ibarosa, who voted out 5 times and has refused to leave. He's there by force. These are the people you have to entrust with either of those things. he can marry a new wife every year. And he's there by birthright. So we live there. Once he sees that can be taken, and he has seen the wife has killed, so he's using it even to lead the trick. So what is the trick? This is a question many of us ask. What is the trick? And how does this trick come about? Of course, the trick is that the host will not share as his name. So he is appearing at the meeting agenda for acrimonious, so he will have evidence. He wants to be made neutral. So the new chair has employed that in case we don't, we are going to choose a committee of 3 get us out. Why? So that when they win, when they are strategy, they want the wins, he will be happy. But even if he loses, he will not be blamed that he is the one who did it, the committee had something else did it. So this is a way in which they trick. I'll be able to talk about it in some other way. What is the significance of the trick? Probably. I expect this to be a question number 2 one day. Or explain the significance of the trick. How does it develop a lot? It is what enables them to push around. It is the satire. It develops the suspense in this story. So we'll be able to move with it and see how it goes. This is the context of the briefcase. I'm talking about this. The briefcase that they have been delivered to the room of the form. There's a copy of the letter. Of course, my interest is on a mobile phone. And the explanation that landlines are insecure, use mobile phones. By the way, mobile phones are the most insecure because of the GPS. Remember their conversations is tapped and Nick is able to follow who is talking to who in that detail, as it were. Of course, this is the accident, and allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about. I want to make some confession I have decided I teach this book in diagram. I want to share my first diagram. Can I? I want to share the diagram now. I have taught this book in diagrams like all the time, and it's easy for me. Let me just take it from the beginning. So that we enjoy these diagrams, and then I can ask questions. No, not this one. Let me start from the beginning. Yes, here. This is the diagrams. This is my small way. Literally, let me show you what it works. These diagrams, how they work. Let me show you this one. I'm teaching how they are checking. Okay, so what happens here is that if I have, this is the east, Professor Kimani is in the east, Melusi is in the south, Jamaica is in the west, Tahir is in the north. This line shows that they don't know each other. So if my students are reading, they will tell me the story of Professor Kimani here in good form. Okay, the story now comes here. Melusi's story will be here, Jamaica's story. So by the time this thing is complete, they have the story of the checking. Then there's that geography. But then this arrows are showing that he's the one talking to them. It is not the other way. They are not calling. Not making sense. So it is I have taught students who are science oriented. You know them. They don't understand these things I'm telling them. This is appealing to them better. They find this easier to see. The story is in one point. So when they read the pictures here, it's easier to understand the guns and the checking. Then another one I have is this one. The hosting challenges. The challenges of the host. I know that this is nice to take to class, isn't it? So then they are seeing the sitting arrangement. But then you look at this thing, the sitting arrangement. Why is it a challenge? Why can't they put them with the names? Because African presidents are illiterate. They will not read. The Malian president will look for where Malawi is. Yeah. Why is this sitting there? That the Libya will not sit together with Ethiopia because they are neighbors. Kenya can sit with Tanzania because they can speak Kiswahili. My students told me not anymore. Kenya can sit with Tanzania because they can speak Kiswahili, but done by two what? Ministry. But there is duplication of roles. Duplication of roles. That it is started to be a Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of International what? Cooperation. Tell me if there is something wrong with this country. Something really wrong. Look at what they're doing. This thing has so the president has to leave his home, stay out, to go and live at the pinnacle because they want to centralize what? Security. Then you find that it's interesting. How do you leave your own home when people have come? Because you have to stay with the guests there for purposes of security. Then they are saying there are 100 commandos fully armed and 1,000 are patrolling outside. But there is also the way for intelligence, which is investigating. But they cannot find that there is an armed attack. Sima. Look at how inept they are. They are saying the only thing that is not covered is the air. So that when the Lucy is walking in, they are able to see his needle. But the man is carrying it and they are not able to see. And he uses it to understand what happens. So again, this is, yes, the satellite is strong. Look at this. They use the alphabet. They use the alphabet. Many rooms. Many rooms. By the way, there is an interesting thing on page 10. If you read page 10, how president, why presidents go for these summits? Page 10. Somebody wants to read. How are they going to inspire to read? Page 10. Page 10, just the last, I think the last paragraph. Why presidents go for summits? Oh, teachers. Somebody told me the other day that if you want to hide something from teachers, write it down. Let me tell you about my principle. If I want to hide something, you'll see when people look behind, you see what happens. So when dad is looking behind, you know. So again, he does not read anything on email, he never. But if you give him a paper, while I look for. So each time they ask me for something to give him, I'll tell him, I sent it to my email. They say, you know, right, give me that call, then I start doing it that day. So I have gone, let that in now. Instead, I want us to see the list of white people.
49 foreign leaders of state were in Banjul for the summit. All looked happy. And why not? Had they not escaped from troublemakers in their home countries? They saw ahead of them a stay free from trouble here in the Gambia, a country everyone kept calling the land of fruit and eating. All hoped to get from their stay as much rest as possible. Of course, at some point, they would each take the floor and the sons back home expected address the summit, but this was something that they could do with little or no effort at all.
Have a good release. They are going there because they are escaping from what troublemakers. So it's also a holiday freedom. But then they will talk not because they have something to say. They will talk because they are fans who must see them. Say, fans at home. And that is why Jemba takes the microphone. Does he say anything? He donates his time. He donates his time to people he wants because the people have seen. That is, look at the satire. It's really sad. And you could see it in the way they even come there. Professor Kimani's story. This is now Kimani's story. Professor Kimani's story. I know that this is something you can take to class. Is it? He has begun from the University of Oxford, then he has gone here as the Institute of Development Studies, then of course he has married a senior, then he has become a professor. Some sense of self-actualization. His struggles begin. Soon he dies, the wife deserts him, he's jailed for assaulting. And I thought that was foolish to go and accost the law, isn't it? It was foolish. But then, look here, who was beaten more? Who was beaten nothing? That confrontation. If you read it on page, I think 44, 45, you will be able to see interesting things about it. So she is actually the one beaten, and after being beaten, he is jailed for 6 months. And then the university, you have brought the name of the university into this room. We go back to become a senior lecturer. Go back to become. Then now after comes. Then now he joins after. Now life is looking up. He's attending the summit. He will go to Cape Town for induction. He will be given something. By the way, he has quit, he has quit teaching. He has now quit teaching for once. He has quit teaching. The thing he had vowed, goes to quit. And by the way, look at his travel. One of them is his journal becoming a big travel, by the way. There is something I did the other day, and very I decided not to teach you when the teacher gets tired. You also get tired, you don't class. You guys are good teachers, you don't get tired. Sometimes I get tired, and by the way, I have pressure on the lesson. I have the pressure on the lesson attendance, and I want to attend without teaching. So I asked students to read for me the story of that desertion, how Assyria deserts man, and they do two things. They put two columns. One is Oloo, Professor Kimani, the other one is not Oloo, is Odiasi. Then tell me, the first thing, I am living. Is that what she says? I am living. Then she says, why? Is it because of this money? Then you see, money doesn't bring happiness. You have never had it. How do you? Where are you going at 60? We should age together. You mean I should have left early? By the way, it's an interesting thing to do, and I did it for 40 minutes, and I walked away laughing, and I didn't talk. And the thing is interesting. So you look at this thing, the way it moves, look at this emotion now, because of this. Then he's speaking his life again, he's going to this song. Then you ask yourself, did they achieve what they wanted at the end? Did they achieve what they wanted at the end? By the way, interesting things to see, even as we move on. And more of this. This is from the Belushi beef. I put the word beef there. I checked it is Islam. So I decided to put it in quotes. So this is Israel. But summarized here, from the class that at the top to a homeless person. So that if we pay it, an interesting thing. There is some food that God has left because it is salty. See the way he polished it. Poverty and hunger can be humanized. That man is actually humanized, revenge and so on. So look at him. The story of Ukrawood. This is the story of the death of his wife. Isn't it? The story of Morambat Sabina is the story of the slum people, poor people voting in opposition. Clearly. Then now he has moved. He has gone to be a homeless person. From the people who are looking for independence to this thing. By the way, there is something here that you would find interesting when you are reading the sins of the fathers in the anthology. There is some story here about the very Shona that has a relevance in that story, that this will inform of us as people. So you get to see his bitterness is from that story of Ukurawuni. The parts of the silent listener. And then you see the attitude of Fiona towards it. The processor, the receiver, the exhibitor, and what they do for each one of them. Then the use of the computer, the wireless thing. And you can see what happens. It is just looking like a fridge. It's parring actually there. This is like a safe deposit. This is running programs. It is showing, it is where you can see the silent listener. These are other things about the silent listener and how it works. Uses kappa, gamma, beta, all these things. And this guy that then captures private conversations. I don't know how to capture private conversations. But they are doing this because this is where the trick comes from. The trick is related to this particular thing. And then the functions of the silent listener, the functions now. It is touches all air, it records, it keeps an ear open, watches out for this, it monitors air, zillions of air messages daily. So there is a lot that is going on with this. And we are able to see how this works. This is the conspiracy. An interesting thing about the conspiracy. These are people that are in this conspiracy. TAD is one of them. The Kano War. Of course, then the guide, then the POA. I have put Fiona aside. Because he's in the POA, but he's from country. He will give them easy access to areas they want that they can't go themselves. So there is and I'm talking about a conspiracy, and we did succeed. That they try to attack conspiracy. Now look at it this way. That long way has Pata Alpha. Afolabi has both Pata Alpha and the GAM is the connection. So then there is Fiona that has an Afolabi angle. Then the Fiona has the POA connection. And Fiona is the one that brings the trick Does this make sense? So that was complicated. Let me make it better about the Boston encounter. This is the third, Afolabi at Boston. They go, there's an interesting thing. My students told me something. Page 21. Page 22, sorry. What is page 22? Paragraph 3. Page 22, paragraph 3 wants to read this story about how he came about. I want to share with you the joke question when you are that page. Page 22. Somebody inspired, you are inspired. You can read now, is it? Page 22. Page 22 is, I think paragraph 3 comes there. This is junior.
Truly, all that men in Tunisia believed to be a country of perception. Our father had gone there for a conference, and mother for the ride.
I don't know why you did that. My students say it was a lie. They made a joke. They made a nice joke there. By the way, I have wondered why the author said the word they ride and not arrive. The father had gone for a conference, the mother had gone for the ride. I don't know what it means, but you can guess. The long way connection. So that is here, by the way, I will maintain that is the main character of the story. So he is the one with this, controlling all these things in the way he wants and what he wants. The trick, Fiona and Fiona, look at this one, it's an interesting thing. Because we are tracing it from Nick. Nick learns about the trick of the silent listener. She knows it, so he shares with Fiona. Then Fiona shares with these people. Talks to Viola, takes Viola to Nick. They meet there in her apartment, goes to Nick, tells Viola about the trip, and Viola tells the gang about the trip in page 149. If you begin to read it sometime. Then there is this one, how the trip. Now, I'm trying to connect. This is the committee. They have the trip. The silent listeners captured it in their hotel, in their conversation. Then he shares it with Fiona. Fiona shares with this thing, and it comes all the way to the ground. An interesting flow of that trip. The last thing is poles of influence. This is something I think page 100. If you are reading page 100, poles of influence. I like this bit, the way the author blends the poles of influence to this bit. That Kenya is occupying a serious place about alliance. So you repeated number 3. Because if you play with Kenya, America will come. I didn't know that until I read this book. I don't know why they are going to come now. So, that's one of the why they are going to come. But then you see, look, that you become famous by just being a bad person. By being defiant. So Libya is here, and this is the way they react. Look at the grudges. These are their grudges now. We are connecting it to politics of power and so on. Then, speakers of the summit. Those speak at the summit. This is actually, this one I put in yellow, the president speaking. But now, at this point, the chair has given seat, then given Afolabi. Then Afolabi has invited before. This one is the one who says praise the Lord and forces them to say praise the Lord. By the way, then he prays in his name. For me, that is blasphemy. How do you pray in your name? Look at the satire he had. Then Professor Kimani actually speak. What did he say? Apart from crying for teachers, you and I. This man was crying for you and I. You and I, Professor Kimani. Then Tahir is asking them to keep weapons on the talent. I don't think it is a good thing. Just imagine if you are a car, people just attack you now. If the car people who want to attack. But that is probably what he said. Then we have this one. Comrade Neruz, if he doesn't talk, he's going straight for Instagram because he's whisked away. Then the thing comes back, then it goes to the chair. Then the chair will invite this old man that has never read the 2 documents and will never read. By the way, he has found people are ignorant and they are bragging about it. By the way, he literally that they are bragging about it. Then when he gets to talk, he is giving this man, not because he has anything to say, but because it's a fire plan. So when he gets to talk, he's talking about what is not in the document. What is then Jemba, just for show. Just then it donates to people, then people now is the fire. There is nothing about Kenya as Mr. Chair. Right now, then the trick comes. As Wasi Wasima is the one who knows the trick. So he proposes an employment. One, by the way, he proposes an employment and people accept because their nerves are about to get into peace. Then he proposes who is going to do that choice committee. You know what that means. Of course, that employment worked. I think I have a few more of this. I forgot, this is another big story. Before I use this word, so I thought I would use the word camaraderie, and I thought camaraderie is a little comment. He is always serious. He is always serious. So look at Twitter, we use Abiola. Then he goes to the seamount to see Abiola. Then Abiola saves Fiona from the war, and she spends the night. By the way, there is something interesting there. She asked him that he was sleeping like you are a wife. The way he was sleeping, so you are a wife. By the way, they are catching up seriously. Then he invites Abiola to our house. Look at the way they share that wine before he comes. Then they attend the summit on observer status. Then they leave holding hands. I don't know whether I make the story in that diagram. It should be a story. And then there is Chileke's conversion. This is another one. Chiamaka's conversion. He was reckless, of course. Then once it's a miracle. The first miracle is because he was unharmed. The second miracle is that the fire engine did not stop. The third miracle is that no one was talking to them. Then he thought now religion is the next thing that you can turn. Then you know what that means. The new calling, Shamaka's new calling, starts to go to church. Then he nods to agree with the pastor. Then he shakes hands with the preachers. Then masters courage to textual command. Then he starts preaching indoors, then he preaches outdoors, then he coerces rather than persuade, then church inside Africa. Then he has the big sermon. God is watching you, isn't it? God is watching you, the big sermon. And then the other ones that lands him into trouble. And you can go on and on. His story also, we start from here, from the Assis Academy, with Bastille of Paris, to people are criticizing this president, he's happy about it. The discovery of petroleum in Liberia, the Feast of Allah, the Al-Qaeda attack, the dismantling of the people. Now he begins to hate that I have already talked about this one. I think I need to talk about the accident and effect. I hate accident and effect. Those ones should be good. This is that story again, as it goes. Is it something you can use in class to make it better for the students to remember the story? And it's easy, so they can decide what they want to remember. Then we need to be with the flesh as they go. How the host suffer from hosting. When you are hosting, look, the citizen is under the demolitions of their kiosks. Their traffic jam because the road are carpeted, road blocks. But the road blocks, people actually turned upside down at the road blocks. Page 46, 47, they read it to you. Then they are there. Then the water. You'd rather not have water but have it wasted on some mountain, isn't it? Across the city, and you can see how that happens. This is the story of Yona, Leo, and Abdullah. I think Molly, that's my good one. This Molly, I don't know what it was, but I think there's some story here. I like this story at this point. This man was the one, once the air, 3 times to stay up, isn't it? Then he threw, then he carried, that the guy hit on the groin. So what happened? Transformer finished and the fight is over. So at that point, the fight is over. The groin is already gone. Because we know the story that God was there. This is the level of the strategies where you make a alpha and I put the people behind it here and looking more now. And then you can generate a debate of that. The choice committee. The choice committee. By the way, they did not agree on that choice. They never agree. They never agree. You can see this guy is suspicious of the document. He failed to get along with the chair during that meeting. This one also failed. But no wonder when this thing begins, they doubt whether they will But then it must be confirmed by second choice. If the second choice is ahead, then you approve whatever choice. So this one was then, the second was ahead, and they chose Madame. But we which is the celebrations by the form. But I want to look at something with page 175. The hyper images that the author uses to describe this chair of the choice process. Page 175. There's something in the middle there. No, in the middle of that, page 175. I want you to see the hyper images. Hyper images. Page 175. This one. You can read it. Ladies are there and all. You know, men over here. Read.
With pleasure, Monsieur le President. This once, the old man spilled himself out of his seat at the dais and started flowing towards the speaker's microphone. "Hello," he began, after he had reached his destination and pulled himself back together. "Excellencies, you sit ready to listen, no?"
Well, what is this? He spilled himself from his seat, then he lowered to the microphone. And when they got there, pulled himself together. Look at those images. The height of the image is powerful. By the way, he's a man who has not stood. He has been speaking while standing. Age can't allow him to stand. But in this one, he has to stand. So the author is telling you about the difficulty. He's speeding himself from his seat and low to the microphone. Apparently, you can see how slow. Then when he gets there, he pulls himself against like water. And this is the time that comes up with this thing. And we have done it in a record of how many minutes? 30. Kenya, Africa State, in 30 minutes. They are saying they were able to finish, but they didn't finish because they disagreed amongst themselves. So there was nothing else that they could do. I think I'm coming to how the summit ends. These are the words that are spoken by people most. These are exact words that I'm trying to be faithful to people, and I say he rejects the clock, stock, and barren. Look at this expression, a nice one, isn't it? So he says, then this thing goes on, how the summit ends. This is how it goes now. He pulls out a pistol and clicks it, heads are hiding under their desk, the chair presses a panic button, the commandos rush in, he disables his little gun and runs away. Because heads succeed, they are promising never to return for the closing ceremony. This is how it has ended. Because there was no closing ceremony. Please clap for me. I have finished. I will say this probably as a writer. I want to share a few essay questions, 10 of them, right? That we can use to revise this thing. And then I will take a question or two on this. I want to share a few questions here. Then I will invite anybody with something on others of the table. Then we can talk. Okay, these are some questions we can take to class. Some we can share. Hosting African heads of state is a prestigious thing, however it comes with its fair share of challenges. So again, we can explore. You yourself can read bitterness and pain. Look at the people you can use, but I think you can use the gun. The gun will be a good illustration for you in that. Then you know how much you have. Then when you go out to the problem, you can add most African guns has driven many young people to depths of depression. Remember that receptionist when the mother is mourning Fiona. And love is asking if you can go ahead. I have a wife and 5 children. I will be sad. Everybody for themselves. Look at that. You must declare that it's a taxi driver. He's actually held upside down with his coin and very bitter about his situation. Western nations have resources of confusion and lack of development in most African countries. You know, African leaders are their own worst. They satire is set. African leaders are laughing a lot. So definitely, not telling you what is the satire in the story. Then even with many years of independence, most African countries have been tied and look to their former colonial masters in such a way that they cannot do anything on their own. Their stories, see, Job talks about it. Why is this man talking in French? He's in French at Amos or Exodus or something. He's in French throughout, but it doesn't bother him. And he's okay, he's happy with it. Because the particular people tell you what that means in terms of time. Holding on to power for long is not a good thing because it can end up embarrassing. It can embarrass you. These are views that I want to share. Please clap for me. Clap for me. Then you are what you like everybody to comment. Or something that you don't find easy to understand. We do the nice thing, and we hope to announce the nice thing, the wonderful thing. I want to announce the wonderful thing. Okay, anybody that has comment something you have not understood, something you think we could share, yes, then we can talk about it together. Yes, thank you.
Good morning. I have a question for the candidates 2024. We have been preparing, I have been preparing my candidates, thinking that we are doing the Samaritan, an essay, and Fathers of Nations in paper 2. Is there correction?
She is fine. Please clap for her. She's doing the right thing. We are doing paper 2 for others and Samaritan for people. Thank you. Please clap for her. The helps understand.
Thank you for the good presentation. My question is in the last paragraph. Mr. Norway and his foreman, we couldn't identify the
Let's
person.
go ahead and do it.
Thank you.
I think the excitement is correct that they are not four men, they are three. And again, the total one man knowing whether your book is genuine. But then the other way of doing is with 151. You read the last paragraph, and you will find the word accommodation in the last paragraph of the 151, then you know your book is genuine. Of course, there are many different books. Then you get the book. The 151, the last paragraph. You see the word accommodation there, then you know you are the book is not right. So that one, remove 4. That long way at the 3, because the Lucy had at the ball. The 151, you can check if the book is genuine. If it has the word accommodation on it, then it's not correct. It doesn't. But if the government copy is okay, the government copy is fine. It doesn't talk about example. The government copy is okay, fine. Any other question? Take one more.